Hello, this is Brendan, and another video as usual. This one is going to be a little unique. We're doing a logo for branding purposes, and so this gets a little more business-like. I'm going to start off with I guess I'll use a white background here. And I don't really have a plan for this, but I do know what it is that I'm looking for, and that is, well, there's a lot to it. There's a lot to be incorporated with this. Let me see what my settings are. I have dynamics off, which is actually pretty good. Okay, so when you're doing a logo, it's not an illustration. There's a lot of things to keep in mind, and I'll discuss some of that stuff. One thing is that you have to what you want things to be a bit more simple, or a lot more simple, I should say, than an illustration, because when you're doing an illustration, you want to show all the details and you know, basically there's a lot to do with like details, lighting, shade. It's almost like a piece of art. Although it's going to be reproduced, it's usually going to be reproduced in one static format, such as it'll just be in a book, or it'll just be, you know, uh, somewhere like on a on a cover of a magazine, or something like this. Usually going to be printed, right, in a book, because illustration includes like children's books, comics books, drawings for marketing, or for branding or something. But a logo is purely branding. It's such as McDonald's, they have their golden arcs, looks very different from that M I just drew there. Or Nike might have their wing symbol. It's usually something that's a lot more simple and easy to recognize. So where do we begin? Um, we have to think of what the idea is first of all. There's so much to be considered here, and I guess I'll just have to keep talking about it. What I'm doing is this is going to be for a comic book, which needs a little bit of branding, both for the characters and also just basically to sell the book, to get the book out there. It needs some kind of image to it. And so the name of the book is Wartorn, and we're going to be submitting it to publishers. And we are concerned about the image in this case, that we want to give it some type of unique branding so that it has a powerful image before we submit it to the publishers, so that when they look at it, it looks like an already polished item, and ready to go, ready to put on the shelf item, which they will not have to put work into, because that's not what publishers want to do. They don't want to be editors and have to tell you that you need to spruce up your image and stuff like that. They just want that to be done, and you should have to they should have to do nothing. They want to make money. So what they want to do. So, which is a good idea, because we all want to make money, right? Now, you don't want to get caught up into that whole I'm a sellout kind of thing. But the thing is, if you want to continue to do art and love art and illustration on a daily basis, how can you do that if you're not making money at it? Even if you're rich, money runs dry, and you don't want to spend your days not making any money. It's a part of life. So, we're not going to have that argument at all. We're just going to focus on the, how to make this good, how to make it sellable, easy to recognize, and to get the point across. It should have something to do with what you're making, right? The concept that you're trying to do branding for, the thing that you're trying to sell, should be relevant to what you're looking at. So this is a book called Wartorn, and we're going with, I don't know if I installed all of my fonts here. I hope I did. No, I didn't. This new everything. I have a new microphone, so hopefully this is you should be hearing improved audio, and the video should probably be just about the same standards. But I do have a bigger screen here, so that might look a little bit better. Not sure. We'll have to see. And hmm, yeah, what kind of font? I don't really have any good fonts in here, but just keep in mind what we're working on, and the name and the image and everything. I want to print that out right here. It's called Wartorn is the name that we're trying to brand here. Trying to make an image. Branding, in case you don't know, is it's sort of a business. Well, it's very much a business word, but it's the art form of taking taking something that isn't famous and making it famous in a way through the art of like logos and design and just getting the name out there. They call it branding. So just like when you brand a horse or not a horse, but they used to brand cows. I don't know if they still do. Take like a hot iron and just put a brand of your company or your family name onto the horse. Sorry, cow or bull, so that everybody knows it's yours and not someone else's. Well, that's what we're trying to do with this. Uh, Luckily, no animals have to be injured in the process because that's well, it's just totally different, basically. So yeah, I just gotta change this layer size real quick. And that is not a good font. We have a military font that we want to use, but I haven't installed that font yet. So I'm just going to make it like that for now, just as a reminder. So war torn, if you can guess, has something to do with war and torn, right? Like torn apart. There's something that's I don't want to give away any of the story, but there's like there's like a torn family or a torn heart kind of thing. And so I'm thinking this type of image might be a good place to start. It is a global war that's happening. So something else I might do, I'm going to do this on a different layer, is give this a little bit of a worldly look to it, which would be something like, how do we do that? We have Canada. I can't remember what the top of Canada looks like. And then, America comes out here, and you have a little thing with, well, that's where Florida would be, and then you come down and you got Mexico. It's a very poorly drawn, I know, but just make it look like some islands and lands and things going around here. So it looks kind of like a globe. So I'm not sure if that works out so well. Could probably do better than that. I guess another thing I could do is make the latitude and longitude lines like that. That might be, yeah, that kind of works. Or maybe just the latitude lines. I'm just doing sketches here to see how that would look. That kind of looks, I think that kind of looks okay. Let me see. Yeah, I'm going to try that. I'm worried about these are the longitude lines or longitude, however you pronounce it, because they're the longer ones, and the horizontal ones are the latitude. But I'm just wondering if I do the longitude lines or longitude, as we say in America, at least I think. I wonder if I do those, if it will interfere with the design of this in the middle. I don't want that to become a problem. So yeah, let me try and do that with, we still have, I can't remember, where's the South Pole or North Pole? Should be somewhere down here. Anyway, do something like that. Let me try that. What I can do is I can use this, the path tool, pretty handy for this because it'll make nice sharp lines. I have the path tool in any software you're using. If you happen to be using Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator, I'm fairly sure they have it in that as well. And the path tool is not easy to use. Let's not fool ourselves. It's a little tricky and you got to play with it. If it's the first time and you've never used it before, you're not going to find it real easy. Why lie about that? Let's be perfectly honest. It's a tricky little tool to get comfortable with. But if you get it down right, you can make some really nice, sweet, perfect lines. And that's always very, very helpful. So these lines here might work. I think that'll do it. And it ended up pretty evenly spaced. I kind of like how that works. So now that I have that done, and again, this would be in any software, you can do this definitely. I go to the path and then I go into paint line over path. I'm just going to say stroke it with the paint tool that I'm using right now. And there you go. Now I can hide that layer by going to another tool. And there I have my lines. So, it's not too bad. Kind of like it. It encompasses the whole world thing. There has something to do with like saving the whole world. There's the torn aspect in the middle that everybody who looks at that we is kind of international. That's another thing with branding. You would hope that it can be internationally or universally recognized. It's not to say that you're marketing to everybody on the planet, but just so you would hope that anybody who looks at it, whether they be young, old, male, female, uh, and maybe even whatever country they come from, it would be nice that they recognize these symbols. Because some symbols, you have to understand, are only recognizable where you come from, even though you might think everybody knows it, but that's not always the case. So you have to do a little bit of research. I might even be taking a risk here with this kind of lightning sort of effect, and it reminds me a bit too much of Flash Gordon, which you got to be careful with. You don't want to be stealing, not even to say stealing, but you don't want to look like somebody else's logo and be mistaken with somebody else, because that can create a lot of problems, not to mention legal issues. But I don't feel as though I've seen this off the top of my head. I'll have to send it out there, or maybe you tell me if you're watching this video. If you know another logo that looks similar to this one, then tell me in the comments. I hope it doesn't look too similar. But that's it for this show, this episode. And I just made a new drawing course. If you're interested in that, it's down. I have a coupon code for it down in the comments. So if you want to, pick up some more drawing skills or knowledge, it's a beginner's course. So if you think that my videos are too easy and you're only watching them for entertainment purposes, then that's not you might not need it. But if you feel like you have any frustration with drawing whatsoever, those courses are pretty good. I really break down all of my all of the knowledge and the methods that I use. So anyway, that's that. And here's Wartorn, a new logo. I'll pitch it off to some people, see if they like it, maybe work it up later. But this is just a draft. As you see, I didn't put much time into it yet. It's kind of an idea, a concept, and we'll see what happens. Okay, see you next time. Have a good day.